Hello everybody, my name is Dee and welcome to Books and Quirks. Today I have a little bit of a book haul for you. It's not a very big book haul, but I did accumulate a few books in the past couple of months, so I thought I'd show you what they were. Okay, so let me just jump right in. So the first book that I picked up was a little bit of an indulgence. I went to Barnes& Noble and picked up one of their special editions, I guess you would call them, that they have of certain classics. And this one I picked up specifically for Halloween, and that is Penny Dreadfuls and Other Tales of Terror, or Sensational Tales of Terror. So I don't know, I've wanted this for a long time. They have a few kind of scary volumes, but I really wanted this. Penny Dreadfuls are the names of Victorian sensationalized scary stories that were published in different papers and magazines back in the 1800s in England. And yeah, so I've always been fascinated. This has quite a few, and it also has a special edition of the 1818 version of Frankenstein, which is not the version that most people read. Most people read the 1831 version, but the 1818 version is more grotesque. So yeah, that's what it says in this introduction anyway. So it has several stories, dozens of stories. Some are very, very short, some are a little bit longer, but yeah, definitely good for the month of October. The next book that I purchased was The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I'm sure you've heard of this. It's went around BookTube a couple of years ago, and it's really popular, and it's very, very short, but I've wanted to read this for a long time, and I was able to get a used copy for really cheap. And yeah, it's about, I think it's a strange tale about a man returning to his childhood home for a funeral, and he revisits the magical time when he was a child, where he met a girl that claimed there was an ocean behind the lane. There was an ocean that was behind an old farmhouse where she lived. And it's supposed to be really strange and weird, and Neil Gaiman, can always deliver, so I'm sure that I will absolutely love this. The next book that I purchased, I also purchased for the month of October. I was hoping to get to it, but I didn't. So hopefully I'll get to it this month, and that is The Fireman by Joe Hill. So this book I was watching a booktuber, I think it was P.T. Hilton, a while ago, and he was talking about this book, and it's also really popular, so you may have heard of it on other channels as well. But it's about a world where a sickness goes around, where people's skin kind of turns into scales, and eventually I think they combust and, die in a ball of fire or something. I think it's kind of modeled a little bit off spontaneous combustion that was pretty popular in the 80s. Yeah, so it says no one knows exactly when or where it began. A terrifying new plague is spreading like wildfire across the country, striking cities one by one. Dragon scale, a highly contagious deadly spore that tattoos its hosts with beautiful black and gold marks before causing them to burst into flames. So Joe Hill, if you know, is the son of Stephen King. So if he's anything like his dad, I'm sure that I will absolutely love this. This is his fifth novel or something. He has a few out, but this is the first one that I'm actually reading by him. The next book that I have is The Ministry of Utmost Happiness by Arundhati Roy. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sure I'm not. But this book was shortlisted, I believe, for the Man Booker. It was at least longlisted. I think it was shortlisted too. But everyone's been raving about this. I'm not one to read all of the nominees like some booktubers. I just kind of pick a couple that may seem interesting to me, and this was one of the ones that seemed interesting that I hope to enjoy. Um, I have I have iffy luck with Man Booker Man Booker nominees, but hopefully I will enjoy this. I don't know much about it. It says it takes place in India in the cramped neighborhoods of Old Delhi, and it's an aching love story and a decisive remonstration, a story told in a whisper, in a shout, through unsentimental tears, and sometimes with a bitter laugh. So yeah, hope to enjoy this one as well. The next book that I have, I don't have a physical copy, so I'll put a picture. I don't have the physical copy on me at the moment. I'll put a picture. And that is Gravia by Julian Fellows. And this book was mentioned to me because I said that I was a huge fan. I mentioned to that person that I was a huge fan of the Downton Abbey series. So I was excited to learn that he has books out, and this book is kind of similar. It takes place in the previous century from Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey takes place in the early 20th century, in the early 1900s, but this book takes place in Victorian times, and it's again about, the drama of the upper class versus the servants and, all of that stuff. So I hope to really enjoy that one. The next book that I have, you have seen already if you've watched any of my Friday reads in the past couple of weeks, and that is Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. This is a mystery novel, and it follows two sisters who, when they were 17 and 15, disappeared. And 3 years later, one of the sisters returns with a wild story about what happened and where her other sister is. So we follow this whole mystery of what actually happened to these girls. We also follow the side story of the forensic psychologist who is trying to uncover the actual true story of what is going on, where the other sister is, and it's kind of a crazy story, but it's rather short. It's just a one-off novel, just a single novel, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was anything really special, but I did enjoy it for what it was, just the mystery of it and trying to figure out what happened, and I wound up giving this 3 stars. So yeah, this was another one that I picked up in the past couple months. The next book that I have is a YA, and it's a collection of short stories by Leigh Bardugo called The Language of Thorns. And this is just a cute collection of short stories based on folklore and fairy tale and myths, and each story is told in different colors. I don't know if you could see that through the camera, but that's sort of a brown color. Then we have blue color, and I don't know, I just thought this book was so adorable, and it's always good to have some cute kind of short stories on hand to lighten the mood when you need it. And the last book that I picked up recently is The Prayer for Chernobyl by Svetlana Alexievich. And this is the Read Around the World book club pick for November. It's a nonfiction book about the Chernobyl aftermath, I believe. So it should be quite interesting. And if you watch my nonfiction November TBR, I included this in it as well. But yeah, this is just a collage of stories and testimonies of people that lived through it, I think. Another book that I picked up, and again, I don't have it in my hands at the moment, but it's The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. I had to think about that for a second. This book you've also seen if you've watched any of my Friday reads in the past couple weeks. I read it recently with a couple of booktubers who are wonderful, and I absolutely enjoyed this book so much. It's my favorite fantasy series that I've read in a while, and I cannot wait to move on to the second book, but that's another one that I purchased, and I hope to purchase the second book on ebook whenever they want to, you know, buddy read that one with me. So that is all I have for you. That wasn't a terribly big book haul, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I'm excited for all of these books that I got, and I hope to dig into a lot of them real soon. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very, very soon.